Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is on a little bit about what I did this summer, a little bit about what I learned, and a little bit about what they are. Let's get started. So at the beginning of the summer, when I finally figured out my plans, I made a video about what I'm doing this summer. I'll link it above and below. But I basically talked about what kind of compelled me to go to those and my motives behind that. But I do want to talk about a little bit of why I chose what I did. So for those of you who haven't watched my last video, I went to Oklahoma Wing Encampment, ATS, Advanced Training School, which is a Texas Wing program, and COS, Cadet Officer School, which is an NCSA. So I went to encampment because of ATS. I really wanted to go to ATS because I've seen the impact it's had on other people, and I knew before I went that it'd be a phenomenal school. So that being said, I was a little hesitant at going at first, even though I knew it'd be good for me, because I kind of had the mindset of I've done everything I can. I don't really need to improve my leadership skills, which is kind of funny because I ended up going to 2 leadership schools. But that's the main reason I went to Oklahoma Wing Encampment, is because I didn't want to miss Texas Wing Encampment, which occurs at the same time as ATS. I didn't want to miss an encampment experience in staffing. So I went to Oklahoma first, and I drove up with one of my friends, and we had a great time. I was a PAO OIC, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And then I went to ATS. I wanted to become a better leader. And one of my great mentors, he is a person who runs the school, and he kind of compelled me to go. And then COS is something that I've heard was really good. I did need it to get my E-cert. That's not the reason I went, because Texas Wing has a program that also fulfills that. I knew it'd be a great thing, and NCSAs are such a cool thing because of the people, and that's, I think, the main reason I went to COS is because of the people. Most of you have been to encampment, and so it's not really super hard for you to imagine what it is. But I was the PAO. That was my second choice. Something I've always kind of been interested in, especially since I have a YouTube channel. So that was really fun, and I'll link videos to what I did there below. It's basically an encampment. ATS is not like other wings. Most wings have some sort of advanced school. We also have intermediate. It's not a rocketry or NRA program like some other ones are. It is purely a leadership school. And then COS is an NCSA. It's also a leadership school. It's all taught through lectures. There are some GLPs, or they're called TLPs there. So I'm going to go through like bullet by bullet like what about each school. So encampment, for me, it was all about people, and that was really the thing that I learned, is encampment is fun. This is my 3rd time staffing an encampment, so I mean, I knew the scene. It was really different going in from an encampment to another wing, because wings do things completely different way. Really, the experience of actually going through the encampment and just hanging out and doing my job and like figuring all that out was really a great part of it for me, and really made me want to staff more encampments, which I probably will. ATS is very hard, and like I said, it's not like other wings, and I'm not saying this just because I've been through the school. From everything I've heard about, I don't really want to talk a lot about it, about the actual school. I really just want to talk about what I learned. Is mainly for me the mindset. Is one of the things is like we talk a lot about like the mission, accomplishing the mission, and that really is what has stuck with me through a lot. Looking back, and then proof for your methods. That's also really kind of got in my mind about what is that, like the motive behind it and how you approach a mission. And so the main thing, advice I have for you watching is never give up the opportunity for a leadership training. Don't stop learning. And really what I mean by that is, if you're going to do something and you're going to be in CAP, don't stop. Keep going. Push through it. I mean, I wanted not to go because I knew it'd be easy to do encampment and not to do ATS. I knew it'd be more difficult. But I've reaped so much more than I know that I could ever get out of that encampment, so it really, I mean, I definitely think that I got more out of ATS in those 11 days than I did out of COS and encampment combined. I cannot speak highly enough about the school, and before I went, I was the most skeptical. Learn as much as you can, and whatever wing you are in, take the opportunities. Go to CTEP, go to RCLS, go to NCSAs, go to anything you can. Do it. The people you meet, the experience you have, and the things you learn will stay with you. Like, that's the best thing about CAP, is what you learn. The people you meet and the experiences you have. It gives you opportunities that you'll never have anywhere else. And I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but that is what you need to know. Go do stuff. And if you don't have the opportunity to go do stuff, figure it out. Find something you can do. And honestly, ATS is one of the highlights of my CAP career. I look back on like the first 2 encampments I did, which were about a year ago and then 18 months ago, and they kind of blur together. Like, I remember them, I remember some people, I remember some of the things I did, but slowly those encampment experiences will kind of just go away, they'll mush in my mind. And yes, I definitely learned things there, but ATS, I will always remember the people. I will always remember some of the things that, like, what I'm thinking through and the situations I'm thinking through right now in my mind, I will always remember. And they will always continue to impact me. And that's what I love. Okay, so enough about ATS. Moving on to COS. So COS is a great supplement to CAP. It's a leadership school. It has great speakers, great topics, great opportunities to get things of it. The one thing I was disappointed by is I wanted it to be earth-shattering. I wanted to go in and have a new outlook on leadership, a new understanding, a new mindset about leadership, and I didn't really. That might be because I had just come back from ATS and that kind of like rebooted my whole leadership mindset. But COS really, it fills in a lot, and I think going right after ATS really was a cool experience because a lot of the things that we had learned at ATS were talked more in depth. And some of the speakers, oh my, there were some amazing speakers and amazing speakers. I think that's one of the cool things is that we were with like 90 other cadets and there's the coolest speakers. So if you want to know more about the speakers, go. That's really all I have to say. The topics were great, the things that were covered was great. It just wasn't earth-shattering. And then another, like I said earlier, like one of my main reasons for going is because of the people. And I went to NISA last summer, and I think one of the great parts about NISA was getting to meet people from all over Texas and hear about other squadrons and how other squadrons do things and how I could change my squadron through learning what other squadrons do. And that really was with COS, is no one in my room was from Texas, no one in my flight was from Texas, so like a lot of things we do, other people didn't understand, other people didn't get. And I think that was great. That was really awesome. Okay, so I really just talked about the programs. I didn't really talk a lot about like what I learned. I did a little bit in there. Anyway, if you have questions on COS, ATS, or encampment, leave them in the comments below. I'll leave resources in the description where you can learn more about them. If you have any questions about them, comments, Facebook, private message, email, whatever your choice of method of talking is, I'll see you in my next video. Bye! We are getting ABUs. The goal of this was because we're part of Total Force, it's supposed to bring us along our parent organization, the Air Force. Now don't